As the final buzzer sounded on the Pistons' 2023 season, two die-hard fans, Mickey and Harry, each passed out and witnessed a vision. They were visited by Detroit's very own mascot, Hooper, the stallion ablaze, who told them the only way the Pistons would ever win a championship again was if these two men started a podcast. To be clear, they said, do we really have to do this? I mean, aren't there enough Pistons podcasts already? It seems like this might be overkill. But Hooper dunked on them, right in their face, and said, your team needs you. He presented them with a prophecy. Now it is their duty to help Detroit rise again and become champions. The Order of the Blazing Horse. Welcome to yet another episode of Order of the Blazing Horse, your only Detroit Pistons podcast based on a mystical prophecy. I'm Harry.
And I'm Mickey. How you doing, Harry?
I'm doing okay. Losing sleep over these losses, as can be done. It's a little bit cold out here, a little chilly out here, but did play some disc golf yesterday too. How's your day going? How's life on the west side?
Good. It's also a little chilly here. We're like in the low 60s, high 50s, so I'm wearing like a light jacket.
Light jacket?
It's tough.
Are you approaching leggings weather? Maybe some thermal underpants in the 50s?
Maybe. At some point. The loss hit you hard?
Yeah. It's, I was watching it because I really wanted it to be a win yesterday. If for those who are just joining us, this is the day after the Pistons take their second loss to the Charlotte Hornets of the season last night. Another 2 point, 1 point, whatever. It was 2 points last game that they lost this one in overtime. Another heartbreaker, another backbreaker. And this is the first consecutive losses they've had since their first four drop of the season. So it's a bummer. I was upset because, one, you're coming off rest, and I'm like, okay, sweet. Now we can maybe get back in there and show some energy. And then, two, they played like garbage for pretty much the first three quarters of that game, and they were still in it. And then they came back and took the lead, and I was like, great, let's close it out. Let's get a win this way. And then they just couldn't do it. So that was a bummer. Plus, Beasley missed that shot at the end, and that that really sucked.
A couple of them.
Yeah, a couple of them. It's a bummer. My dad did text me to let me know he was watching the game with a message. Beasley should have hit that shot. That's the only Pistons thing he's texted me all year so far. But, he's just communicating. How do you feel about the game? How are you feeling about the Pistons right now?
Yeah, your dad's not wrong. I'm at like sort of a zen place with it because it was a heartbreaker, and there's been a lot of heartbreakers, and I'm just trying to keep everything in perspective. The team is not above criticism, but I feel like the fans got a little excited when we neared 500. I know I did. We're not there yet, and I think that this is just like case in point. We're not going to have 10 turnovers every game like the last couple. Like, we're going to fall back to old habits. And I know we were on rest, but we've still played more games than a ton of teams. I don't know if those couple days really did what you'd hope they would do. I'm encouraged by Tobias Harris's play. He looked really good. I just think guys like Ivy, Duren, they're going to have bad games. It's just going to happen. I hope Cade's all right. But I will say, too, I don't like losing to Charlotte. No. There's something about him.
I really hate it. I'm not having a good buzz. They're a buzzkill, without a doubt.
Yeah.
It sucks, and I hate that they're so comparable to the Pistons. On top of it, they've got their young core in LaMelo and Brandon Miller and who's the guy who's out? Mark, is it Mark Richards? Is that his name? Nick Richards?
Nick Richards and Mark Williams.
Mark Williams, thank you. The two tall dudes. Sorry, Nick and Mark. You end with a K. My bad. I can't remember it all. Plus, you guys never play, so who knows? But LaMelo and Brandon Miller tear us up every game. Brandon Miller destroyed us for game winners for both of these last games that we played against them. LaMelo went for over 30, and I think both of them just like absolutely explosive. And what drives me crazy about this last one is LaMelo kind of showed up Cade a little bit as far as like scoring when it counted and like really getting there. That sucks. I hate that this is our rivalry because I don't think they're very good either. But I think I do think it's fun to have rivals. It's been testy for a long time back when they had PJ and Stu and PJ were getting into it, and
Forgot about that.
Cuffed and Brandon Miller and Stu were getting into it. No real fights today. I guess last time was Fontecchio and Tijan Saloon, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And if I were at the game, and if you were at the game, maybe there'd be another fight between you and me and the Hornets announcers because they're asking for it.
Oh my
dude.
God.
They are asking for it. I'll go on record. I think they're probably the worst announcers in the game. It's just
clowns.
Like, it's so insane.
Clowns. When Stu blocked a 3, that amazing block, and they're like, "Oh, he had to do that to save himself from embarrassment." Like, what?
You should be
How
embarrassed.
is that the spin?
You should be embarrassed.
It's crazy.
I like that our rivals have like a cool jersey and cool like history and stuff like that. So like aesthetically, that's cool. Hopefully we can both grow at the same time, both do well because the East is floundering. And I think one thing that this is like showed me overall is the Pistons aren't, like you said it, like we fans got excited. And part of it's because the East is so bad and the record is like cool and they're like in these games, but the Pistons just aren't a great team. They're not even like really a good team right now. They're just a team that's moving in the right direction. And part of what makes me feel okay about the loss last night is this season's going to be full of educational losses and educational moments. And like I brought up, they came back to get into this game and to take the lead late. They ended up losing it. But if the next time they get in this situation, they're like, okay, we've been here before. Now we need to know how to like keep it in gear and like really finish it up. That'd be wonderful. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they can learn and if they can advance. And like you said, Cade got injured. We don't know how severe it is, but I mean, he came down pretty hard on a play that the Charlotte announcers insisted was not a foul. And it looks like he bruised his hip a little bit. Seems to be day to day. How do you feel they could do without Cade? I mean, we had a little bit of a preview of it over the years. We had a little preview of it in overtime yesterday. Are you concerned?
Again, I'm in the Zen zone because we were talking to Bryce, the Nimbus 2000 Simon, the other day, and he was saying how he's glad we don't have a backup point guard, some guy who would just suck minutes from someone else. I think that at some point, Cade was going to miss games or game. This is an opportunity, I really think, to see what Ivy does as the lead ball handler. And I just think the fans' pace and expectations level are different than the front office. And I think that's okay, especially in a draft this rich. I don't think we're tanking, but I don't think we're doing everything we could possibly do to win. I think with Duren and Ivy in a contract year, I think this is about seeing what's worth keeping, what's worth not keeping. So I'm excited to see, now that Ivy has a coach who's actually behind him, how he does with those reins. Because, you saw LaMelo go out and Brandon Miller really stepped up. He hit some big time shots. Talking about education, I really hope we start to figure out how to guard 3-point shooters, because the perimeter defense has been a problem, and I know things will get better when Asar comes back, but it can't just be one dude.
Man, the inbounds defense was brutal yesterday too. Like, I think to tie it up, LaMelo got super free, and then he almost got the game winner too on like another one super free. And like you said, on the perimeter, there must have been like 3 or 4 where Miller was wide open, and that's a bummer. It's like a miscommunication sort of situation. Hopefully when Asar gets back, which seems to be soon, he got upgraded to doubtful for this last game. That's exciting. Maybe we'll see how that all plays
I can
out.
mess with doubtful.
And like some of our players right now, like Tim Hardaway Jr., he just came back from injury and like he's looked pretty rough these 2 games being back. I think it's kind of to be expected. He took a hard head hit. That's rough to deal with. And it's not, again, at the beginning of the season, none of these guys were like great defenders. So like seeing defensive lapses, it's to be expected. I would love to see more Ron. I feel like Ron's minutes have been awesome. Like Sure, he can't shoot the three, but he's been very fun to watch, and he seems to get like a high impact defensive play literally every game, and he's great in transition. And we're seeing the rotation extend. Wendell Moore, he played some good minutes. He had a terrible turnover in overtime, like so brutal. But other than that, he's been playing pretty well. I would love to see more Sasser minutes. Honestly, I feel like Sasser has played very well in a short period of time. Like, one thing about him this year is he seems to be catching and shooting at a higher clip than he has been in the past, and that's awesome because the kid's got a stroke. And if he's getting catch and shoots, then people close out. Then he can drive and do his little floater, and like he shoots very well. I'm excited for him to be scoring more baskets. And we've danced around it a whole bunch, talking about Ivy and Duren in their contract years, and Ivy's playing pretty well, looking like he's earning himself some money, and somebody else is maybe losing himself a little bit of dough. JD's been a disappointment, I think, to put it mildly, this season.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think Stu played more minutes than him last night. You really felt like Duren being out there was a bit of a liability. It seems like the drop coverage, especially on perimeter shooters, not great. I was listening to Pistons Pulse just to keep quoting the Nimbus. Shout out. So Bryce thought that maybe one of the reasons why he doesn't close out on shooters more is that he's afraid of being taken off the dribble, which concerning, and really saw that happen with Grant Williams. And no knock on Grant Williams, but if he can do it to you, a lot of other guys can probably do it to you too.
Yeah. And I mean, Duren did get a 3-point block, so that's like cool. I actually thought he had one defensive sequence against Ball that was pretty solid. Like near the end of the game in the clutch, I was like, damn, this is an impressive sequence, but not enough. Like moments is cool at the beginning of your career, but we're moving into a transition in your career. And the dude took 3 shots. He had 5 points, didn't have double-digit rebounds against a very undersized Charlotte Hornets team. Like that's very concerning. So when your defense is a problem and your offense isn't shining the same way it used to be, and you're shooting 50% from the free throw line, you've got a lot of ground to cover, man. And this fan base is looking for a scapegoat. And my guy's got he should be growing a Billy Goat's gruff under his chin, because they're looking at him pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because it's not like he doesn't read what's online. I'm sure he sees what's going on. It's not like he doesn't know what areas of his game he's got to work on. It's just I think it's really tough for him, and I think Trajan's going to be in for quite the conundrum when it comes to either extending him or trading him. We talked a little bit off camera. Do you think there's any chance of trading this guy at some point this season?
I do, and I don't know anything, but I do know that I think he's going to want to get paid, not Cade money, obviously, but I think he's going to want probably like north of 20 mil, 25 mil a year, right? I would imagine somewhere around there. And look, he's still only 20, 21. So there's room to grow. I'm just concerned about him knowing where to be, the conditioning a little bit too. And like, that's all stuff that can improve, but I don't know enough about that to say, but I agree. Like, it's great, the chemistry that he has with Cade. He is such a great lob threat. They clearly have a little mind meld going. And he's been so efficient this season, but it's almost all lobs. And it's funny too, because I feel like he's actually averaging more stocks this season, and we're still like, he's a problem defensively.
Yeah. There's more to the game than just blocks. Like there really is. It's tough, and it's not like his numbers have skyrocketed or anything. It's just like a slight uptick. And I do think there's a possibility he gets traded. I think it's actually kind of likely, because you either extend him or that's like it. And you better hope that like somebody wants to take a flyer on him. Like maybe Troy Weaver advises the Wizards to like make a move for him, or
it's a Weaver guy.
He's a Weaver guy. Got a shot, and I know they could use a center. I bet actually he'd fit pretty decently with the Wizards, because you could pair him with Sar, and then like Sar can
I was thinking that
mitigate the defensive inefficiencies, and Duren can handle the rebounding and post game inefficiencies. So like,
When Sarr shows potential to space, so I think that could actually be really interesting. Kind of a Allen Mobley sort of situation, although, Jared Allen's really good at rim protection and defense. But, in theory, I was.
Speaking of theories, I was going to say, just you set up for the transition unless you wanted to say something.
Now let's get into it.
Okay, are you sure?
I guess we're doing this. So, yeah,
right.
We said we'd do it. Let's do it. The full, curtains pulled back here. This is a full honest moment, like big reveal. I kind of had to talk Mickey into like letting us have this guest on. I got really excited when I was thinking about the last time, and spoiler, he is a returning guest. Last time we had him on, he had some crazy out there theories, but the more I'm living, it's generous
the more I'm watching,
word for what was brought up last time, but yeah, sure.
Well, that's fine. I'm just seeing the number 5 everywhere, and he's been emailing us nonstop. This last one he emailed with, I was like, Mickey, we gotta get him on this one. The last one had teeth. This one might have teeth too. So let's bring on our, I don't want to say good buddy, but let's bring on our very popular guest, a very interesting guy, very unsure if this is his real name or not. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Conspiracy Carl. Carl, you there?
Oh, I'm here. Are you here? Is anyone there?
Who's to say?
Right. Nah. Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys having me back. I appreciate you guys finally responding to my email. Finally.
You just emailed us like 2 days ago.
Yeah. And you got back when?
Yesterday?
Yeah. Pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah, I'd say
I don't know. There was at least 18 hours where I'm sweating it, and I'm going, are these guys, they don't want to talk to me? Wait, did I do something wrong? Do they not want to talk to me? Full 18 hours. I went through this spiral of existential crisis of whether or not, I feel like they don't want to talk to me.
I'm sorry, man. I kind of thought that we were fast about it, but my bad. Not to upset you or anything like that. How fast do people normally respond to your emails? Do people normally respond to your emails? Because
Harry, you can't win with this guy.
No, I don't. I don't typically email.
Just us 5 times a day.
Just flooded.
Yeah, I made that email address for you guys. Yeah, because to be honest, I don't trust online. I don't trust any of it. So.
What is
doesn't trust online
correspondence methods then?
Well, that's what we're here to talk about. Or no, it's not. Which call is this?
This is Order of the Blazing Horse. You told us
exactly.
About.
All right, let's get into it, guys. Okay. I got you something here. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Okay, this guy knocked it out of the park last time with all of his theories, right?
Yeah,
all the stuff I brought you that just kind of made you go, huh? Maybe, That's what I do. Just to remind you, I'm a conspiracy. I'm the ground level guy. I give you something and is there something here? Let's explore.
Yeah, I would describe you as a person who doesn't connect dots, but just dots.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And also advertises Bad Boys.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the movie franchise. How could I forget about that? What were some of the dots he raised last time? Was something about Adam Silver and
the $5. Yeah.
Because of because the pizza's not $5 anymore. For new listeners, last time Conspiracy Carl came on, he let us know that the reason Pistons are constantly drafting 5th is because if I get this right, Adam Silver is so mad that Little Caesars no longer charges $5 for a hot and ready, and $5 hot and ready was his favorite food, that he refuses to allow them to draft anything else other than 5, the number he thinks that the hot and ready should be valued at for all time.
Right, and this has yet to be debunked. And how often have you been seeing 5s lately, Harry?
Constantly. I've just seen it twice this stream. Like, you've held a 5 twice. I think we're roughly 5 weeks into the season. Pistons played 5 games in 7 days. That's another 5. Detroit is part of Michigan, which looks like a hand, and a hand has 5 fingers. 5 Great Lakes. A lot of 5s. Like after the last,
I feel like we're really reaching out with our five-fingered hand. So it's a real reach.
There might be something there, and it's yet to be debunked. And I got another big one for you guys today. A little bombshell of a conspiracy. Just again, ground level. I'm just throwing this out there. Is there something there? But this one I actually did put a little bit more effort in. So Mickey, you'll be happy to know that I put a little bit more effort into this one, in that I spent a little too much money getting some concept art drawn up.
Ooh,
Wait, you invested?
Oh yeah, I invested in this one. Yeah.
Okay. Hit us with it.
When you get past
Carl,
you have to spend money, right? It takes dollars to get past
Still in the phase, if I'm being honest. But
all right.
I just felt good about it. I think you will too. Legendary Pistons broadcaster, George Blaha. You're familiar.
Love him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's great.
Actually met him in LA at a Pistons game. We were both washing our hands in the bathroom, and I waited until afterwards and took a picture with him.
In the bathroom?
Super nice guy.
Did you take a picture in the bathroom?
No, I waited till we got out. But if I had, the world's not ready for that picture.
Like
I'll
the
tell
two
you
of you,
much.
like
He's a legend in more ways than one.
The two of you fighting for the last piece of paper towel, like out of the hand dispenser, or man, would have been clutch.
What's he like off the air? Because maybe that segues perfectly into what I'm about to pitch you here.
He was very nice. He was happy to take a picture with me. I'm happy to talk about George Blaha. Like, it sounds like this might be relatively normal.
Here's the thing, is that I think that George Blaha is a normal guy, a nice guy. But when he's broadcasting, he's not normal. He's catchphrase king of Detroit, right? Count that baby and a foul. Lays it up, lays it in, fills it up. The tomahawk slam, right?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty iconic.
And many, many more, right? Here's what I think. I think that he's not alone. I think someone's helping him with these catchphrases.
Yeah,
all right? And that's
Greg is helping with these?
Close.
He's a
I would say think even closer. They're not just coming off the top of his head. They are the top of his head. I think his comb-over is a sentient being that's feeding him these catchphrases. That's what I think is happening. I don't think that George Blaha has hair. I think what we've been seeing on his head for the better parts of 3 decades is just a being in itself that is now very much a part. Listen, Webster's dictionary defines catchphrase as a word or phrase that is used repeatedly to represent a person, group, or idea. Okay? It doesn't say that has to be one person, or that he could have a little helper. Comey.
Comey?
Comey is the name of his comb-over, yes. And it is a separate being that is feeding him. Have you guys seen Ratatouille?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't, but I was pitching this to someone, and they told me this sounds like Ratatouille, because I guess in that movie there was either a rat or a tui is on top of someone's head, and they're feeding him information, or I guess in that sense, cooking. And so rat or tui, whoever it is. So I'm saying that same concept applies here, where I don't know how to cook, but Mr. Rat or Mr. Tui is telling me how. George Blaha, great guy, terrific guy, but he doesn't have catchphrases. And all of a sudden, Comey comes in, starts feeding him the catchphrases, and they're the perfect team. A dynamic duo. So anyway, I don't know if you guys are picturing it. Maybe it's a hard visual to
you have visuals
to pull off. Yeah. So this is. I'm sorry.
There you go.
This is Comey. Okay. And I don't know if you can fully see, but yeah. So that's Comey right there. So you're seeing the comb over kind of has its own personality, and this is the guy that's going, lays it up, lays it in to George, and then he goes, lays it up, big bet over to rip back to Chauncey for the triple. That's all Comey. That's Comey that's saying that. And if you're not getting what I'm saying, I guess what I'm trying to say. Let me see if I can pull this one What I'm trying to say is like, okay, this is George Blaha, right?
I can see why this costs so much money.
Whoa.
Comey just kind of, he sits up on top. Is this visual making sense?
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
so
it's
he
making
sits up
too
there
much sense.
and picture his like legs like kind of folding underneath here like you know, and he comes down. So again,
like a yoga pose.
Exactly. So this is Comey,
Mm.
and then when he's atop Blaha, he kind of, anyway, these illustrations really set me back. But
honestly, they're incredible. I think this is
so it just kind of
ridiculous.
So Comey sits up there and he feeds him catchphrases.
Okay, again, I think this is insane.
But without Comey,
George Costanza.
Yeah.
You know, I will say I've never seen Blaha without the comb over. You got me saying it.
Yeah.
And for those listening on Spotify, Carl has just showed us illustrations of George Blaha's signature comb over as a little character. He's anthropomorphized, kind of.
Yeah.
And now my head is spinning. I
want to say this is crazy, but is it crazy? Like, Blaha's been there for so long, and that hair has been the exact same for so long. And while George is still, at this point, sometimes he's struggling to correctly identify players, he's still getting out the catchphrases. Mm-hmm. And if that's what a sentient comb over would be telling him, is these catchphrases, and the catchphrases are still coming out crisp, I don't know. This is crazy.
I'm just saying,
I don't know.
Maybe there's something there.
I don't know what's harder to believe, the fact that there's a sentient comb over sort of ratatouilleing George Blaha, or that, like, how could one man come up with so many iconic phrases on his own? That's the only thing. Exactly. I don't think any other announcer has more bangers than Blaha. The only thing, I feel like it's a little bit disrespectful to imply that George couldn't come up with all of these on his own. I feel like it takes away.
Yeah, it's not that he couldn't come up with them on his own. It's just that they work well together. You know, when Comey came into the picture, we fed him a couple, became big, you know, and then it's just now he's the catchphrase guy. Comey the catchphrase. Comey something there, you know? Mm-hmm. Comey, Mr. Catchphrase.
Huh.
Comey. So Comey just feeds him the catchphrase. He reminds him when to say the catchphrases too, you know? If it wasn't for Comey, you know, Blaha might be out here, you know, calling something a triple when it's just a double.
Well, I mean, he is calling every dunk a tomahawk slam, so maybe Comey needs
they're all tomahawks.
Yeah, he needs a little help in that department.
Well, listen, Comey only has so many, you know, and that's a Comey thing, not a George thing.
And Comey don't play,
you know. Well, to be honest, if you're asking me about my own criticisms of within this about Comey, is that I think Comey should come up with some new catchphrases, because I think that the tomahawk slam and stuff, the reason it feels overused is because Comey's out of stuff. That's nothing against George.
Well, okay, so how did you develop like this theory? Like, where did this come from? Because maybe we can like navigate a way to figure out how we could contact Comey and maybe pitch him some new catchphrases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he won't talk to you. I already tried.
You tried. What happened?
That's why I was so curious about the bathroom incident that Mickey had, because I have tried. I am not allowed near George Blaha anymore. I did try.
Yeah. Was he doing anything with his hair in the bathroom?
No, but I was shouting at his hair, or at Comey. So
you were in the bathroom with Blaha too?
This was a different time, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I'm missing out. I'm the
only. We've all been in the bathroom with Blaha at various points. But
yeah. So he didn't like that. George didn't like that I was shouting at his hair, calling it Comey, asking it to answer
weird.
Me. Well, yeah, but it's also weird. Wouldn't you think it's also weird to have a comb over that's feeding you catchphrases? So they're both weird.
Yeah. So I agree with that. I just want to say I think this is ridiculous, but do send us those sketches because for those again not watching on YouTube, they are incredible.
Well, the thing is that
they're so real that they have to be real. You know what I mean? Like they're so
I almost
well
didn't
done.
believe it myself until I saw the artwork, and like I said, you guys are now the third people I pitched this to, and the first two immediately were like, oh, like Ratatouille, and that's when I had to do my own research because I'm not above it, figuring out what Ratatouille was, and the answer is yeah, it is kind of like Ratatouille, but also, you know what's older than Ratatouille?
A lot of
Comey and his relationship with Blaha. So I'm not saying which came first, but if this is
Oh.
true, then
Are you also saying this might have been the inspiration for the film Ratatouille?
there's no evidence against it.
I like that way of thinking. There isn't any evidence against it. Who are the other people that you pitched this to? Like, who suggested this?
Oh, that is confidential. I will say that. You obviously it wasn't over email because I only email you guys.
No, but it was over what? Again, I'm still not quite sure on how you communicate with other people or who you communicate with. Last time you were on the show, there was somebody shouting at you in the house, but
Yeah, where are you now, Carl? If that is your real name.
No. Well, it's a great. I'll get to it in a minute.
Yeah, we'll circle back on that one.
But yeah, so far, Ratatouille is a movie. So what I'm pitching is similar to that. Rat or a Tui, they're on top of George's head. That is what is feeding him these catchphrases. And again, the biggest thing, there's no evidence against it.
yeah, I haven't seen any evidence against it. No one's ever said anything about there not being one. There are more people saying that Bigfoot doesn't exist than that Blaha's comb over Comey isn't sentient.
So where I like to attack things is sort of this middle ground. There's no evidence against it. There's no evidence for it. So therefore, it's an equal opportunity to exist or not exist. And after I saw these drawings, I was like, yeah, I'm in. I can see,
It's in the ether. That's for sure.
This is the danger of deep fakes and AI is that like if I saw this and I was like, this is real to me now. This is real.
I'm buying it. That, like I said, those illustrations are like impeccable. So how could it not be at this point? Do you think that Comey has any relation to Sean Puffy Combs, Puff Daddy?
Ooh.
No.
Oh,
but
okay.
No evidence against it.
Oh,
So
right.
I'm not gonna like come to Comey's defense entirely here, because
you don't want to end up on the wrong side of history.
Otherwise, yeah.
I mean, who knows? Because Puffy was a bad boy for life. George Blaha also bad boy for life. Is that a coincidence? Is that something that makes you go, huh?
You know what does make me go, huh? Is it's been 5 months, 6 months since the release of the latest Bad Boys movie. And
5 months?
Yeah. And where are we right now? November. So.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I don't see the connection on that one. Where's the huh?
That's the thing, is I'm not always connecting it. I'm just always saying like
he's just dotting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Look,
So 5 months out? Is that what we said?
5 months out.
From the last.
And Thanksgiving is on the. Is it the 5th week? 4th week? 4th week. Not
the
quite
5th week of
the.
He's got you. He's got you all twisted up.
It's so captivating and like
how many days are there in the month? I'm just throwing stuff out there. I'm Carl. I'm gonna send you 5 emails a day.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
thought I said that twice, but that was just a good impression.
It was pretty good. You know what? I gotta say, Harry and I are actually gonna go to game.
There. You know?
Yeah, maybe. I'll tell you what. Harry and I, we're gonna actually be at a game later this month. We're gonna be at the Sixers game on November 30th.
Come
say hi. Come say hi. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be in the nosebleeds.
Shout at George's head. The back of his head. from up close.
In the bathroom.
I'm not going to shout at his head from up close, but
All right.
if we see him in the bathroom or otherwise, I don't know. I'll see what we can see.
The only way you're getting through to Comey is to shout at the back of his head.
Okay.
So,
From the back. He's an approach from the back. Must approach from the
listen, Comey's a professional. He's not just gonna like slip up and let himself, be known.
You got to catch him by surprise.
But how do you know this? Like, were you getting?
I don't. That's the beauty of it.
Okay.
I guess. Carl, you've been watching the games. You got any thoughts on the Pistons thus far? How you feeling?
To be honest, I've been watching the games, but I have been watching them audio only. Just trying to focus on George's voice. I went down this rabbit hole with this. I just told you guys about that.
You've been listening.
Comey. Yeah.
Listening.
Yeah.
That's called listening to the.
Are you looking at like
Well,
audio waves?
No. I'm looking at. I'm just. I guess. So the way that my setup is you guys know how some screens are pictures.
Yeah.
Sure.
I can see that.
So picture no picture, just audio.
So just a speaker.
It's.
Huh?
You're just watching the speaker.
Yeah, sort of. I guess it's. Listen, I don't want. The point is, I've been. It's on, but I'm. Yeah, I feel good about it. But mostly, I was so fascinated with Blaha's catchphrasing, and I started to. And when I finally got it, when I do look at it, I go, something's up here. Is that something?
Okay, so you've been thinking about this for so long. You've been watching Pistons games, and we've already talked about the idea of Comey having new catchphrases for Blaha. Have you thought of any that you'd want to toss his way?
No, and that's not really the point of me. If you thought that I'm like bringing this to you so I can audition for Comey's job and hopefully replace him and be on top of George's head to feed him new catchphrases, that's not why I'm here. That's not why.
Really? Because you were pretty specific about that. It sounds like you want to live atop George Blaha's head and whisper catchphrases to him
for money.
So
it sounds like, because it's his job.
There might be something. If you guys are saying that I might be the guy, like the replacement for Comey, then I'm into it. And I think that when you see George, that's why I want you to yell at the back of his head. Because if you can get Comey to, because Comey's had a long career, save some room for the rest of us. And so if I could sit on top of George's head, I think I could also help with some new catchphrases.
2 questions real quick. One, are you capable of getting your legs underneath your body the way Comey is?
Yeah, kind of folding up like a pretzel like that. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing mostly. Is practicing for that. Well,
I guess in fairness, we've never seen your lower body, so I just imagine those 2 little sticks. And were those like high top sneakers?
Yeah, those are high top sneakers.
Unlaced.
So, yeah.
Cool. Second question I've got is when we call, because I am going to do this when I see him in the bathroom from behind me. When we call Comey, what is the proper way to call to him? Like, how should I
say one of his catchphrases, but say it like wrong? He hates that. He hates it.
Oh, you're
not
baiting
George,
him
George.
into correcting
George
you.
Flattered that you, but Comey is like that's not it.
Okay.
So
count
that's
that
how you
babe
get it
and
right.
it's now happening.
Yeah, and then you might get a glimpse of Comey doing this. Like, say it again.
Count that babe and now that's the ticket.
So that's what you're looking for, like
okay.
a slight reveal, because Comey's not gonna like make himself known, but you might notice like a little bit of a huh.
Oh, he's a guy as well.
Yeah. Well,
okay, so you give him a like, flips it up, slams it down, and he's like, "That's not right."
Yeah, he might even go like, "Get a load of this guy."
Mm-hmm.
If you can catch him doing this, that is the proof that we're all looking for.
How about if
you can catch Comey pulling out his little cartoon glove hand and going, "Get a load of this guy."
What if we give the Thomas Crown Affair slam?
Yeah, that'll get him. See, now you guys are thinking. That's how you.
That one I kind of like.
Say something wrong, you know.
It's so good a slam. It's art theft.
That's how you get to anyone. You just slightly keep inconsistencies in who they are or what they do. And
Off the
just
high cholesterol.
Not enough to be insulting, but.
Mickey, do you have any that you think we should pitch? Because if we see Comey, maybe we can pitch him these.
No, I hate giving this any sort of credence at all. I really
a 3-pointer baby.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna harass George Blaha. But again,
I kind of like a 3-pointer baby, to be honest.
It's not the worst thing. Honestly, it's better than the Hornets
list, but
guy who just goes.
That's one of my. I have a. You know how when you do like an SNL audition, you submit a tape of like impression. So I have been submitting George my catchphrases, and that was
George and not.
But maybe I'll take it off the list. My audition.
What other ones do you have on there?
3-pointer baby. I said that one.
Yeah, you said that one. That was really good.
3-pointer baby.
I'm gonna make that the new subscription sound. So if anyone subscribes, we're gonna get it's a 3-pointer baby.
3-pointer baby. There's also dribbles it around.
That's
it. I will say the Pistons definitely do that a lot.
See, that's why I thought it would be good. You know,
it's apt.
I got a pass with both hands.
Pass with both. Well, mine was pass. That's for when like 2 quick passes happen. So it's so obviously some of these are situational, right? Like they're you're not going to count that baby in a foul if there isn't an and one with it. You're not going to say that. So some of these are situational. Like for example, if you're running up the court, there's 3 passes, and then there's a great defensive play at the very end, and you actually can't get the shot off before the buzzer at the end of a quarter or something. It would be pass, and no, not gonna happen.
So specific. So specific.
In all honesty, it's happened a number of times this year.
That's true, actually.
Well, that's why I keep coming up, because it's like he doesn't know what to say, and Comey doesn't have any good ones. So that's why I'm like, if I could get in there, top of George's head, and say stuff like pass, no, not gonna happen. That's what we're missing. That's what he needs. And by the way, George is great. I just think that there's some new situations that keep coming up. Mm-hmm. Maybe you need catchphrases for. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah. I will say the Pistons, they turn the ball over quite a bit. One of the ways they do that sometimes is going out of bounds.
Sure.
There might be something for that. Like,
whoops-a-daisy.
That's all the way out of here.
That's all the way out of here is pretty good.
And now it's your turn.
I like that. I like that. Now it's your turn.
You can't go there.
You can't go there. Man, you guys are killing it with these right now.
There's a reason those lines are there.
I actually really like
that one's a little condescending to the players,
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's my whole thing here is 1, this could be something, right? You look at it and go, maybe. And then 2, the other thing is, I didn't know who else to bring this to. Like I said, I brought to a couple people. They told me,
I'm happy you brought it to us. And, I mean, like, I want to get this information out there. If you get a chance, people out there in viewer world, confirm. Like, we could use pictures. We want to. Yeah. I want to have Comey on the show. That would be like an all-time exclusive gift.
Well, maybe if this, because the other second part of this is that if I'm right, and there's a vacancy coming up, and that job is open, and Comey's not going to be there forever, then George is going to need a new catchphrase keeper, and that's why I want to keep my name floating out there to be that guy.
You should make a demo reel for him.
Yeah, no, I have been sending them.
Yeah. I've got another one for when Cat doesn't get a whistle in the lane where he gets no whistle. They're not Cat calling Cade tonight.
I like that. I got another one for when someone just airballs completely. Mm-hmm. Nothing but nothing.
Yeah.
It happens, unfortunately.
Yeah. I dig that.
And don't look now, but 6:52 left in the quarter. That's for when there's like 6 minutes and 52 seconds left in the
That does happen.
Oddly specific, but he could do it literally every game, 4 times.
Yeah.
He could, and that's the kind of thing is you want something that doesn't just come up once.
Mm-hmm. Dang, you're thinking ahead.
Yeah.
I like where your brain's at.
I think it sounds like you may have convinced Harry of something or other.
Amazing.
I still don't support this at all. I don't think people should shout stuff at George Blaha. I don't think he's been
No,
getting...
don't shout at George. We don't want to bother George.
Only from behind.
Okay.
Yeah. And only in the back.
Again, I have nothing but respect for George Blaha in this. This is about Comey. This is about, I think I figured out who Comey is, and I'm coming for his job.
Okay. Well, again, wish you luck. I'm not going to back that, but I would love to plug the artist because those drawings are pretty incrable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd you get to do that?
Can you tell us where did you find this person? Who are they?
It's a Van Gogh.
That's a Van Gogh?
Yeah. I think.
All right.
Is Van Gogh a style of art or is that a
BVG?
No, he's a French painter who died century ago.
It's not a Van. Yeah. It's not a Van Gogh then. It's but
I mean, that's really good. Did you have to pay?
I mean, it's really good. It's really cute.
Yeah.
So he just sits up there. Now imagine if I was sitting up there.
I guess.
Are you picturing it? I should have. I ran out of money, or else I would have got that drawn up. But
okay. Well, I'm glad you
pass, and not gonna happen.
That one stings. It's definitely. Had a couple of those last night.
Don't look now, but there's 6:52 left to go.
I mean, why not?
All right.
Pretty iconic.
I'll be in touch, guys. I got a couple other big things coming down the pipeline here.
Okay.
I'm working on. They're not quite to, is this anything? But they're early stages of maybe,
Here's the thing. Content is content. I guess keep spamming our inbox.
Let us know when something else this mind-boggling, mind-blowing happens. I can't wait to figure out more. So thank you so much for joining us, Carl. Do you have anything to plug before we get you out of here?
I would say nothing other than if you haven't, check out Pixar's Ratatouille. Because I think that'll provide some clarity to what I'm saying here. I haven't seen it myself, but it sounds like Comey equals Ratatouille. So
shout out to Rats. Shout out to Alex Tui, 2025 draft prospect in the NBA.
Shout out Pixar, I guess.
Shout out Pixar. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Carl. It was lovely to see you, and let us know how the pursuit of Comey goes.
Yeah, I just emailed you.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, man. We'll respond back in less than 18 hours. I promise. Well, that was fascinating. I am going to be looking so closely at George's head for the rest of his life. This is going to be nuts.
I got to say, it's not the dumbest thing I've heard him say. I'll give him that.
For sure.
And I kind of pass. Not going to happen.
Nope, not going to happen. In the chat, Emperor Yori says, don't look now, but there's 6:52 left in the quarter. It could become an instant classic. I say when it's 6:52 left in the quarter, we tweet it every quarter. And that way we can get this wave really moving out there.
And then we'll know how much time is left in the quarter.
We'll know it's not quite halfway, but almost halfway through that quarter. We got a couple games coming up. We are going to be at the Philadelphia game together. When they're playing the Sixers on the 30th, doxing us. But for real, come check us out. I think it's do it for the city night or something like that. I wanted to share something. I actually wanted to share a couple things on this podcast, this stream before we.
Little show and tell.
Little show and tell. The first one. My brothers and I, we used to go to games at the Palace back in the day. Family used to take us. And my little brother, he salvaged and rescued a Rip Hamilton Christmas bobblehead. He glued the head back onto the bobblehead When he gave it to me, it looked nothing like Rip Hamilton. Like, absolutely nothing like him. Pretty nuts. So I took some cellophane and some electrical tape, and I applied the mask. And now this is our Rip Hamilton Christmas bobblehead. So shout out my little brother, Alex, for putting it together. Shout out Rip for
That's amazing.
having this little mask so we could eventually look like you. And shout out Christmas on its way approaching. Mickey, I know you have a show and tell too. I have another one, but I want to hear yours before we advance.
I do. So I think it was over the summer. This article came out where AI, not a big AI fan, but AI generated fake mascots for all the NBA teams. And the Pistons one was this really terrifying character. AI couldn't spell Pistons, so it just said Peton, Peton. And he's sort of like a felt puppet man in a Pistons jersey. And he kind of caught fire on Reddit. I think during the loss streak, it became a thing where it was blamed on Peton, or people hoped that Peton could save us. It was so funny. It was so disturbing. But my buddy, Ryan McCarthy, actually, for my birthday, created this. I don't know.
Yeah, perfect.
This
I'm gonna put you on
3D
solo for that.
Peton. Shout out Ryan McCarthy, Avery Ferguson. They have a company called business.business, and they do a bunch of stop motion animation. They do ads for companies. They just do little spots, little clips and stuff. Such cool work. I love him. I love his scary little face.
Horrifying. The thing that created that is taking my job. Hard to believe, but true that AI is doing all this. Incredible stuff. Peton will haunt my dreams for many years to come. He is terrifying. All right, I've got one last thing to share. I watched the Wizards game with my buddy, who Stoltz, maybe the best historic baseball player I know. He's incredible. And if you don't know historic baseball, it's 1867 rules, hardball, no gloves, a couple different rules. Come check us out in the summer. Historic World Baseball Tournament is at the Henry Ford in mid-August. Come see me play baseball. Old-timey. Break a finger or two. When we were watching the Wizards game together, I got to watch more games with them. They beat the shit out of the Wizards, and that was awesome. Like, so stress-free. One of, 2 stress-free wins they've had this year. He also was a Palace goer, and he gave me this little pamphlet from the final Palace game that's got all these pictures of, Pistons lore, Pistons history, and there's only one picture of Gorez, and he looks like shit, and he really loved that that's on there. Because this is part of the Davison era. Shout out Bill Davison. But we got Jerry Stackhouse, we got Isaiah Thomas, we got Joe Dumars, we got Tayshaun Prince. I'm off camera. There's so many things on this, and on the back is a poem, an ode to the Palace. So to go out on our show, by the way, like and subscribe our show. You're here.
Please like and subscribe.
Give us a
like and subscribe.
Give us a follow. We're having fun here.
Ring the bell for notifications for when we're going streaming.
That way you'll know. And where else do you get conspiracies? You find out that Comey is actually who's giving us these iconic catchphrases, huh?
Nowhere else.
Nowhere. Where are you getting the
for good reason?
City Edition jerseys? Nowhere. Who's bringing on Baloney Parker, the circus clown, telling us that the Pistons could have been exposed as circus clowns? No one's doing
Zero other Pistons podcasts.
So like us on YouTube, follow us on YouTube, put on the alerts, follow us on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Pods, Podbean. Am I missing anything? Blue Sky? We're on Blue Sky now.
On Blue Sky now.
On Blue Sky now. So as we go, I'm going to leave y'all with this poem, and then we'll end it the way that we always do. But the poem from the Palace's final sheet. Also, shout out to Who for laminating this. That was above and beyond, cool. Dude. What a nice thing. If these walls could talk, they'd tell stories of drama, adversity, and triumph. They'd tell you about the birth of the bad boys who became back-to-back champs. I thought this was a poem. Apparently it's not a poem. About heroes named Zeke, Joe, Lambeer, and Horn. And about a rookie named Grant. And a scorer called Stack. As the years passed, they witnessed blue-collar basketball and Chauncey's big shots. These walls shook as opponents feared the fro, and championship gold returned home. And now that a new era is upon us, led by Stan, Reggie, and Dre. Oh, my.
That's aged well.
These walls would say thank you. Thank you for a lifetime of memories to take with you on the journey ahead. And as always, as we leave the Order of the Blazing Horse, we only have one thing to say. As the final buzzer sounded on the Pistons' 2023 season, two die-hard fans, Mickey and Harry, each passed out and witnessed a vision. They were visited by Detroit's very own mascot, Hooper, the stallion ablaze, who told them the only way the Pistons would ever win a championship again was if these two men started a podcast. To be clear, they said, do we really have to do this? I mean, aren't there enough Pistons podcasts already? It seems like this might be overkill. But Hooper dunked on them, right in their face, and said, your team needs you. He presented them with a prophecy. Now it is their duty to help Detroit rise again and become champions. The Order of the Blazing Horse.